Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this fancy fold card. Very easy, straightforward. I don't know if it already has a name, but I'm just calling it a Z fold. Either that or an upside J fold, could be, couldn't it? And I'm going to do the card pieces that you need. Oh, before I go on, the date today is the 4th of February 2020, and just in case you're watching this video in months to come, I apologise that my fingernails are so scruffy, but we are in lockdown because of the coronavirus or the COVID-19 pandemic, and obviously I can't get my nails done, so they are looking a little bit scruffy, and I do apologise. It's not the normal me, so I do apologise. Right, so what you need, the card pieces, I have written a name on each of my piece because the pieces are very similar in sizes, and if you're prone to making mistakes like me, you could finish up making this mistake. The yellow one, this is Pineapple Punch around here, and what I've done on here is I use the Pineapple Punch that should have been on the inside, on the outside, and the outside one I've put on the inside. As you can see, doesn't look right. See the gap or lack of gap there is there? You should have a nice gap on your front. Okay, so I will tell you what I've called them. If you have a more suitable name, by all means you go for it, and I will give you the metric measurements as well. So first of all, your card base is Whisper White, and it measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches, and in centimetres at 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5. And then we have a piece of Petal Pink, and this is for the outside of your card, or the front layer, and this measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.2 by 14.3 centimetres. And then you need a piece of Whisper White for the frame, which is this piece here, and this measures 4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10.2 by 14 centimetres. And then you need a piece of Petal Pink for the inside of your card, and that should measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and I've just put inside on that. That's 9.9 by 14 centimetres. And then a Whisper White to go on top of that. Again, I've called that inside, and that's 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.6 by 13.7. So they will be going in there. And then finally, this is what I've called the Fancy Fold Front, and this measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 10.5 by 14.5 centimetres. All the measurements will be in the box below the video for you. If you are in North America and you're trying to follow this, I haven't worked out what the American sizes are, but what I can say is this piece is half of the front of your card. Okay? So what we are going to do first is the stamping. So I'm going to take my frame and the white for the inside. Now for these, I have used my Stamparatus, partly because with this it's very easy to miss it a bit, not get a certain area as dark as the rest. With your Stamparatus you can go over a couple of times. And to use the Stamparatus, I've already got mine laid up and I'm not going to change it, but the way that I did this to make sure it was correct so that I could stamp it without wasting my cardstock, I took some computer paper that I was recycling and I cut it to the same size as the frame. Okay, so what I did was I put that put this one on where I wanted it to go, and then once I was happy that was in the right place, then I put the happy birthday in place, took this, turned it over because it didn't matter that there was something on there because I just needed this bit down here, and it was a bit too far away. So that piece had been finished with, so I came in with another piece, and what I did was, I don't know if you can see, let me bring it up to you. I actually cut a bit of the rubber off my stamps there and there so that I could get them close enough. It's not often that I do this nowadays, but there are occasions when I will trim my stamps down and it works brilliantly. So as far as I'm concerned, although I am damaging my stamps effectively, I'm improving the use of them. What I'm saying is, if you decide to go down this road and cut yours, you will lose your guarantee with Stampin' Up. As far as I'm concerned, once I've used a stamp, if it's stamped okay, then I know it's okay and I'm not going to have any problems going down the road. So I'd recommend you just stamp the stamp first, make sure it's all perfectly correct when you're happy, and then you can do it on here, and then if necessary, cut your bit there. So that's how I do that. So once I'm happy with it, I leave it like that. Now where's my frame? Okay, so this is my frame bit. Turn the writing over. I will put that there. I'm going to be using, oh, by the way, the stamp set I'm using is the Ornate style, and it's this one here. I will be using that one to decorate the inside of the card. But I'm just going to pop that under there to support that. The Ornate style is a special promotion at the moment, which is, that's from a pre-release. It's going to be in the new catalogue in June. You are able to buy it beforehand up until the 31st of May, I think, and then the new catalogue goes live on the 3rd of June. So there's only like 2 or 3 days where there's a break where you can't order it. But I have been playing with it. I have had so much fun with it, and at the end I'm going to show you some other cards that I've made. Right, so enough chat. So I'm using Memento because I want to use my stamping blends. If you don't have one of our Stamperators, if you don't have a Stamperators rather, you really would need to give it some serious thought. It's a brilliant, brilliant stamp positioner, and it blows all the others that are out there on the market straight out of the water. And the reason I say that is because, as you saw, we take the plates out and it comes with 2 plates, and as you'll see, I have used my second one for the stamp for the inside of the card. There we go, 2. I think I might just do another one that has stamped very well, but I just think I could do with it a little bit darker. Just make sure that's still in place. I think I'm too busy chatting to actually concentrate what I'm doing, which does happen. Oh, there we go, that's much better. Now I'm going to take this one out, put it to one side. I'm going to bring my second plate in, which is the daisy stamp. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to move this. Oh, I haven't done the, I've missed the Y. Oops. Now this really is I'm too busy concentrating on the flowers. Make sure that's back in place. But this is the absolute beauty of having a Stamparatus. Let's go back in there. Yes, I don't think I was inking that up properly. Oh, much better. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's take that one out. Let's put this one in. And there we go. Put that to that side. and now I need the white piece that I've written inside on. Okay, I've lost it. Inside, there we go. So I'll turn that over. I really should use my stamp operators more often than I do. Oh, by the way, this is going to go onto here. So I'm going to put a scrap down. I was asked what this layer here is, and it was just an old mat that I had from somewhere. It's just that it brings the stamps, the paper and everything a bit closer together, and it makes the stamping a lot easier. And I do notice that Stampin' Up actually sells something like that. I can't believe that I didn't notice or didn't know about it, but I have got one on order, so hopefully next time I can actually show you. Right, if I move that one over there, I don't need that. The sentiment that I've used there, that comes from Peaceful Moments, which is part of the Peaceful Poppies suite, and I am using the Happy Birthday. This is the one I've just finished using. Been making my customer thank you cards. Right, so we've got to colour these two, and the colours that I'm using, I don't like multicolours, and like the yellow, there are all kinds of yellows there, and the pinks, I've got different kind of pinks, okay, and what I do to decide which colours I'm going to use, and how I've decided that I'm going to be using these three colours for my flowers, is I make these little things. This one I didn't realise I'd be showing on the video, so that's why I haven't written on that one. This one was Lovely Lipstick, light and dark. This was Rococo Rose, light and dark. And this is Flirty Flamingo, light and dark. So I was able to look at them and think, I like that one and those. I went for the lightest three, and they mixed together brilliantly. And for the yellow one that went wrong, this is what I've done. So Saffron, Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody and Pineapple Punch. So what I did on this one was I used the two So Saffrons, and I think I went for the light Daffodil Delight. And then what I'm doing now is I'm using the two Petal Pinks, and I'm using the light Calypso Coral. But if you wanted to go for all dark ones, you'd be able to do this. It's a great little tool to have. In fact, I might actually do myself one complete card so that I can keep referring back to it. That's an idea. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is, I have already painted all of this ahead of time, but I want to show you what I do and just explain. It takes me 15 minutes to colour all of this, which isn't bad considering how much there is there. So first of all, what I do is I paint the leaves first, because it just makes it so much easier to discern which bits are flowers and which bits aren't. And I do find this amazingly easy and quick to paint using Stampin' Blends. You will find in the middle of this there are bits where you probably look at and you say, is that a flower or is that the background? Well, apart from the big background pieces near the top, which I'll point out just a jiffy, all the other little bits I've taken that it's greenery at the back. So let me just point these out to you. Use my embossing tool. For example, that one there, that one and that, to me that's the background. But come in here, there's a piece in there, there's a bit there, bit there and a bit there. I'm just assuming that there's leaves at the back there that we can't see, so I colour it all in. At the end of the day, it's one of those things that you do what you think is right. Because believe me, if you think it's right, then somebody else will do. Now this is another area. The green leaf here, which is really quite obvious, up there, okay? But then you'll see there's that little piece there, between the flower and the leaf. Not quite sure what that is. On my card it's a leaf, so I colour that bit in. If I'm wrong, did you notice when I showed you my card? Hopefully not, therefore nobody else will notice it. Okay, so you can take that point of view for all of your bits that you colour in. Okay, so that's as far as I'll go with the leaves. Or at least the first coat of the leaves. What I do for the stems is I use the pen end and I just, the best way I can describe it is I just tickle the stem. I'm not pressing down on the paper, I'm just going close enough for the paper to grab a little bit of colour. If you press your pen hard down, what you'll find is that the green will get absorbed into the paper and start to spread. Okay, right, now I normally come round and fill these little bits in as well. It really does make life so much easier to get the leaves and these funny little areas done before you start on your flowers. I think everything else is oh no, here's a couple more bits here. I mean, you could say to yourself, I've done the same colour of that flower or that flower, whatever. It's perfectly okay. Now, I will finish this off afterwards, but I just want to show you what I do. Now, with my three colours, I choose the darkest colour for these little flowers here. So that's going to be that one. I choose the lightest colour for these, and then these get the medium colour. So this is light Calypso Coral, and to colour these in I just colour down as far as those little lines. That's a funny little bit, but it was joined to the flower, so okay, can you see the little lines? Yes, you can. So I just take the colour down as far as the end of those. Alright, let me just do another one. Okay, so I've got all that white left around it. And normally I colour in all my flower centres with Daffodil Delight before I start. And the brush on this Daffodil Delight is way past its best, but there's still a lot of life in the pen, in the blender, so I just use the pen end. It works, so. Okay, so that's that. So next I'm going to do the lightest colour, and I'm doing these. So this is light Petal Pink, yes. And I just do from the centre out about halfway. And as you will see, it really is very light. And this one, this is a bit short on this side, so I colour all of these in. You'll see how many times I've coloured this image in. Okay, so that's that one. And then last of all, the big flower, I use the dark Petal Pink. Yep, Okay. Oh, not that end. Let's have the brush end. I think this one's still okay. I just colour it in towards the centre. I really like colouring images like this. I find them very easy and I find it very, very relaxing thing to do. Now, I haven't worried too much about making sure that I've coloured all the bits in. Let me show you my completed one. Okay, so you can see all the bits that I've left white around the darkest, which is the light Calypso Coral. And the centre one is the dark Petal Pink, and these ones is the light Petal Pink. Okay, so you don't need to be perfect to get a really good effect. Okay, so I'll put that aside. As I say, I will finish that one off. And then this one, I'm going to do the same as this. In fact, I've come back here. I forgot to do the highlights on the leaves. So again, I'm now on my dark Old Olive, and the brush is really, again, past its best. I do use my blends an awful lot, so I'm not surprised that I've reached the stage where I need to replace them. And I just followed the lines on the drawn veins. And then I come back with my light Old Olive and blend the colours in. Start off by doing the centre bit that I've just done and then extend it out. Okay, so go over the bits where I've just done the darker bits and then go right the way to the outside on all of it. And then over that again. There we go. Over the highlighted bits and to the outside, and then over the highlights again. As you can see, I really am not much of a colourer, but I do feel reasonably pleased with the effects that I can get using our stamping blends. There we go. Right. That will take a little while to spread out and settle down, but it will finish up looking like these here. Okay. So that's all of that finished. Now I need to colour this one. So I want my light Old Olive just to do my leaf. And then I will use the pen end for the stem. And again, just tickle. It takes a few goes to judge how much pressure you need to put on this. don't really think it is something that you actually ever get used to. Again, talking. Never mind. Right, Daffodil Delight, the dark. And then the light Petal Pink. Just coloured the whole of the end ones there. But then just do outwards on the way round. Okay. So there we go. That's all of that. Oops, just dropped one. Right, there we go. So what shall we do next? Let's do the die cutting on this. Oops, I've left my ink open. So let me just bring my Big Shot up. In fact, before I put that in position, let me show you the dies, one set of the dies that comes with the Ornate Garden Suite. It's all of these here, and they are the most gorgeous dies ever. Okay, so this is what they die cut like. Aren't they absolutely super? Really, really gorgeous. So this is the one I'm using. Let's bring this back. So the best way to do this is to put your cardstock at an angle and then line this up on top. And what I do is I line that up right against to the edge. Okay, comes down a bit. Yes, that looks good. That looks okay. That looks centered. So what I'm going to do, put the top one back, and on my machine I am also using a shim. You'll know whether your machine would do well to have this. So I crank it through once and then I bring it back again. Right, there we go. Let's move that off. Move this out of the way. Now what I normally find is I can take the frame off and this frame will come off easily as well. So very little wastage there. I'm not going to worry about cleaning this at the moment. There are quite a few little dots on there. Where's my black spongy bit? I'm sure I brought it over with... Oh, here it is, yes. I brought this over because I thought I was going to use my die brush with it. But I don't know. Can you see? No, you can't, can you? But there are a few dots in there. But I'm not going to make you watch me do them. And then when I pick this one up, most of the dots there will stay on here. You see all of those there? And what I find, the easiest way to get them off is I use my little colour chart, and over the bin I go like that and knock them all down. So let me just get that done. There we go, all gone. And not much damage done to that, a little bit, but not enough to worry about. And then I just need to get the dots out of these. I just give it a little tap like that because quite often I can get quite a lot of them out. If there were a lot, I would be using my, got my die brush that I was going to be using. I have done so many of these shapes. My studio looks as if there's been a wedding in here with all this confetti. Right, that looks about it. That wasn't too painful, was it? So that's there. Right, what I did was I rounded all my corners. Now I was toying with the idea of leaving them all square, but I decided against it because I can show you what the card looks like square, but not actually identical to this. You'll see what I mean. Before you start to, oh, we've got to do the scoring first. But I was going to say, before you start doing the punching, at one stage you've got nearly 3 layers to go through. So what I suggest you do, before you find out on here whether you can or can't do it, if you find you can't do it, you're going to have damaged your cardstock. So what I recommend is that you get 3 pieces of scrap Whisper White that you can put on top of each other and then put in there and test it to see if you can do it or not. But first of all, we need to take our card and we need to score the front here. I am using my scoreboard, and what you need to do is just open your card up. Okay, so that's the inside. Lay it down and just score it at 2 inches, which is 5.1. Here we go. Okay, so that's just at 2 inches. Now this means that this is going to be 2 inches and this is going to be 2 1/8 inches. So when you fold this one back, it's going to fall short of that. The alternative was to ask you to score at 2 1/16, which you could do easily with your trimmer. But if you were a tad out, it would spoil your card. What it looks like at the back is like that because it's fallen short. If your 4 1/16 was a bit out, you could find that that comes over the top here, which I didn't think was worth taking the chance. So let's fold that bit back. Okay, so that's where the shortfall is. Let me just use my bone folder to give a nice crisp crease there. More confetti. So next I'm going to do my punching. Now I need to stand up to do this, which I tested. I can do it, so bear with me. Right, so first of all, this is the bit where you've got almost 3 pieces that you're going to be putting through the punch. Okay, that's 1. 2. Now it gets easier. So the inside. This will give your wrist a little bit of a workout. And you put this in, just make sure that your cardstock is lining up against these 2 barriers here. Fancy fold front, yes, we need you to be done. We need all the pieces done, I think. Well, I'm doing all the pieces. We'll find out whether I shouldn't have done it or not. That didn't look quite right, did it? Let's try that one again. That looks better. Outside. So the only one we don't need to do, obviously, is the one with our stamped and painted image on it. Oh dear. Not good at all. Let's make sure I haven't got a piece of paper stuck in there. Nope. Let's try that again. Oh, much better. Okay. Right, excuse me while I just pull my chair back in. Right. So let's do the inside of our card first. So that's that one and that's that one. So this is Tombow. That's come round out quite a bit thick, thicker than I like it to be. So I'll bring my scrap of paper in here. Am I burying my tweezers? No, here they are. Now I'm just going to blot this on here. If you do this, don't leave your cardstock sitting on your scrap paper for too long. Right, so that should fit in really nicely. So you've got a good gap all the way round. That one could come down a bit. That's better. And that could come over very slightly. There we go. Let's move that out of the way before I get myself stuck to it. Let's do this one. So open your card up, pop that one in. Very rare that I ever do rounded corners, but I just felt that it suited this. Now before I put those two on, I'm going to put this onto here. I think it's just that little bit easier when you're only working with one piece rather than those added to it. So what we need to do is we just need to put some glue on this flap here. Don't let it go over the edge on this side, nor onto your inside obviously. And then you need to line up your two curves there with the curves on that corner and on that corner. There's that one and that one, and you should find it covers up the back there so you can't see what's underneath. Okay, give it a press down and that is what you should find. Okay. Before I go on, I'm just going to give this one another crease. Now I'm going to put these two on. Oops, oops, oops. But first of all, I'm going to put this one onto here. You see, this one's already got like rounded corners, which is what gave me the idea of doing rounded corners all the way round. With this, I'm just going up to the edge of the die cut pieces. do wonder if I am a little bit OCD. Did you notice I had to turn that outside that was written on there up the right way? I don't mind it being there, but it's got to be up the right way. Okay, so now we put this one on, and we just need to have a little edging around there. Oops, came off the edge there. That's a bit of a splodge, but I think that's far enough away from the edge. I'm a bit paranoid about not putting my head too far forward because as well as not being able to get my nails done because we're in lockdown. I can't get my hair done either. I had an appointment for 2 days after the lockdown happened, so I was unlucky. So there we go, that's today's card. I couldn't decide if I wanted to put any gems on here or not, but I decided not to in the end. Let me just cover that little bit of blue up there. Oh, here's a piece of paper. There it is. So the other cards that I want to show you. Okay, so you've seen these three. This was my wrong one. This all started off because I made this card. And this is why I decided to round these, because you can see what it looks like with square edges. Okay, so it's exactly the same apart from the fold. That one I shared on my blog the other day, and I've also shared these on my blog. As you can see, the daisy again, I've used that, and these were other little stamps inside the stamp set, which I thought were rather nice. So there was that. All of these are on my blog, and this one as well. I love that embossing folder. Look at the pattern on there. Isn't it gorgeous? And of course this is one of the dies. This was another one of the dies here. And the one that I shared on my blog today, did I just show you that one? That's the blue one. And no, one more. Thank you card that I did, and this stamp looked like a corner stamp to me, so I did the corners and die cut that, so that I was pleased with. And this is the one I did today, shared on my blog today, that's right, and these were die cut using the dies from the set. It was a little bit of a fiddle. What I did was I used those two because that one cuts out holes in your cardstock, but what I did was I die cut the rectangle. At the same time I had that in there, and I used some post-it note to hold it in place, and then I die cut 6 of those and adhered them down onto a white layer. And this, which stamps it was, this one, this one? Yes, it was from Peaceful Moments again, that one there. So the suite is absolutely amazing. I will show you the leaflet. I've sent this out to everybody who's on my mailing list. So the whole bundle is £127.75 or €165.50. If you're in the North American or South Pacific markets, please check with your demonstrator to find out your prices. But you can buy everything as one bundle, or you can pick and choose what you want. You don't have to have everything. So there's the thank you stamp set there. There's these dies. Did I bring them over with me? I thought I did. Oh no, don't tell me I didn't. If I fall off my chair, it's because I'm leaning right the way over. No, silly me. Oh well. The dies are really absolutely stunning. As you can see, this one cuts out a complete layer. This does the edge of cardstock and the edge. And this one die cuts, that one I think is around the other way. Anyway, whatever. And also these two little singles. Absolutely beautiful, the whole lot. And the designer series paper, which is, this is one of the designs. There are 6 designs. You get 2 sheets of everything. And on the reverse of 4 of the designs, there are foiled designs with gold foil. I think it was gold. Yes, gold. And this is a stamp set that I've just used. The dies I use are from this set here. That's the embossing folder. You can buy 2 ribbons, terracotta tile and old olive, and some gilded gems as well. So absolutely fabulous. And do talk to your demonstrator about it. If you're one of my customers, I'll answer any of your questions. Honestly, it is such a fabulous suite. I don't think I've ever gone on about anything on offer as much as I'm going on about this one. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. Oh, missing that one out. If you have any questions, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I always read your feedback too. If you would like to know the measurements, the products that I've used, they'll all be in the box below the video. And also a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. Stampin' Up are still delivering, and orders are still only taking about 4 or 5 days to get through, which I think is absolutely amazing, considering we're in a lockdown because of the pandemic. But that's Stampin' Up for you. It takes an awful lot for them to let us down. So if you want it, you can order it. And honestly, you will not be disappointed. Finally, if you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down there in the bottom right hand corner, and then click the bell, and that way you'll get notifications. And what else was I going to say to you? I don't know, it's gone. Couldn't have been very important. That's me waffling. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and take care, stay safe. See you next time. Bye.